Hi everyone! Today, for my book talk, I'll be talking about The Boy in the Striped Pajamas. This book was written by John Boyne and it was published by David Fickling Books in 2006. The genre is historical fiction and the intended grade level is for grade and up because the interest level can target high schoolers as well. The overall book is 215 pages, which is a nice, simple read. I'm going to begin by talking about the awards that this book has won. So the author is John Boyne. He's an Irish novelist who lives in Dublin, Ireland. This book was a New York Times bestseller and remained at #1 for a while, as well as in the United Kingdom, Australia, and Ireland, and Spain. It won the Pacific Northwest Library Association Young Readers' Choice Award for Intermediate, and this was in 2009. It's internationally acclaimed as well, so it won the Irish Children's Book Award and the Irish Listener's Choice Award, both in 2007. And it also won the award of Bisto Children's Book of the Year in 2007. It's way past 5 million copies around the world that have been sold. This was back to 2010 and it's now 2015, so this book is widely known and very popular. To begin, the main character of the story is named Bruno Wierzynski, who's 9 years old. He has a sister named Gretel, who is 12 years old, and a mother and a father. Together, they all live in Berlin, Germany, and it is 1942. The beginning of the story starts out with Bruno coming home from school and walking into his room to see his maid, Maria, going in his closet to pack his things. He's concerned because he doesn't understand what's going on, so he runs down to her to figure out what's going on. He learns that him and his family are going to be forced to move to a place called Out With because of his father's job and promotion. What we learn from this is that Bruno is the son of a high-level Nazi military official, but this is inferred just based on the 1942, it's Nazi Germany era, and based on the details later on in the stories where you really learn about this. His mother doesn't seem too thrilled about moving either, but she tells him that they have no choice and that they will be moving very far away from Berlin. Bruno's not happy about the new house after they make the transition for 3 major reasons. One, he had to leave his 3 best friends behind, which were Carl, Daniel, and Martin. His house is located next to this camp that he has no idea about, but there's a fence that's keeping him out, and he's not allowed to play with anyone in it, which he notices there's men, young and old, within the camp, but he does not understand why they're there. And the last thing that makes him mad is that the soldiers are constantly in and out of the house and calling him little man and not respecting him the way he wants to be respected. So as Bruno settles into his new home in Outwith, he still doesn't get along with his sister, who he calls as a hopeless case, but he can see from his window all these people that are on this other side of the fence. He believes for it to be a farm because they all are wearing the same thing, but he has no clue why all these men, young and old, are on this other side of the fence. He wants someone to play with and wants to know why they're all there, so one day, even though he's told not to go near the fence at first, his curiosity and need for explanation makes him break this rule. He eventually explores and encounters this huge long fence, and when he does get there, he sees a boy who's wearing striped pajamas and a cloth cap on the other side of the fence, but he's wearing no shoes either. This boy is named Shmuel. He's the same age as Bruno and has the same birthday as him, although they both live completely opposite lives. Bruno is privileged and naive and has a Nazi as a father, while Shmuel is a Jewish boy who is being punished and told to work at a death camp. Shmuel is emaciated, has rough and gray-colored skin, a shaven head, and wears no shoes. He also wears an armband with the symbol of the Star of David, although it just shows in the book the symbol I left on the PowerPoint. At this time is when Bruno mentions that his father also has a very nice uniform with a symbol on it, and it's the symbol of the swastika, but same thing, it's just a drawn-in picture in the book. Shmuel and Bruno quickly become great friends. Bruno visits Shmuel at the fence every day except when it is raining out, because then he's not able to sneak away from Maria and the other people around the house and be able to venture off. They can never play with each other because they're on different sides of the fence, but it doesn't matter because they both enjoy each other's company and like to talk to each other. Bruno brings Shmuel food because he is always hungry and gets skinnier each visit. Throughout their meetings together with Shmuel, Bruno is always curious about the other side of the fence and wants to see firsthand what life is like on that side. Their friendship continues to grow until one day Father decides that it would be best for his family to move back to Berlin while he stays at Outwith to finish his job. This is because the mother has grown restless and tired of their living situation, taking more afternoon naps and drinking more during the day. Father also realizes this is no place for children to be living at for such an extended period of time. However, before the family moves back to Berlin, the story ends in a completely unexpected way. So now I'm going to tell you why you should definitely read this book. I rate it 4.5 out of 5 stars for my own personal rating. To begin, the book's point of view is from Bruno's perspective, who is a 9-year-old boy who's very naive, does not understand what's going on in the world around him. So this is showing the reader the Holocaust from the outlook of a child, and it makes it so different from any other Holocaust novel because of his being naive, and most of what the reader learns is inferred, which makes it such an interesting, different perspective to learn about the Holocaust. It's also really good because it's about a story of friendship. It has Shmuel and Bruno developing this friendship just by talking to each other, meeting at the fence every day. Bruno had no other friends, and he left his 3 friends behind, so he wanted to be able to have someone to play with, and he comes across this boy who shares the same birthdays, the same age as him, yet lives a completely different life. It also teaches about morals and takes the reader through an emotional journey, but it's one where you cannot put down the book. Obviously a lot goes on in the book, but it keeps you on the edge of your seat. And although it is about the Holocaust, it does not use terms such as Nazis, concentration camps. It does say the term Jews, but it's a good intro book to the subject of the Holocaust for kids because they can understand these deep concepts and start to learn about it, but they don't have to learn all the technical terms that come along with it. The theme of innocence, even though Bruno lives on the fringe of a death camp, is absolutely captivating. This theme extends throughout the entire book because there is Auschwitz right in the backyard of his life, and he doesn't even realize what's going on. He thinks kids are playing there, he thinks families are happy, when meanwhile his father is a commandment of the Nazi regime for this death camp. That's why this book is so different, because it's a book that can be for children as young as 12 because the writing is so simple, but the interest level has such a wide range that it targets adults as well. As I mentioned before, there was references made all out with is how Bruno refers to the camp the entire story. But that really means it's Auschwitz. You infer that, but you understand because Gretel mentions at one point that you're not saying it right, Bruno. That's not the name of the camp. There's also another reference of the Fury, which is being the Führer, which is Adolf Hitler, and the fact that Bruno met him because he came to dinner one night is also another crazy concept because this theme of innocence, and here Bruno is living next to Auschwitz and he has met Adolf Hitler. So what I think is if you like history, especially learning about World War II and the Holocaust, this book is definitely for you. I'm a history major and I truly enjoyed this, and I've always enjoyed learning about the Holocaust even though it is a difficult subject. It's very interesting to me. The overall book was so suspenseful, yet devastating and thought-provoking, but an overall easy read with it being short and having simple writing, so I definitely recommend it. So if I haven't convinced you to read this book yet, here's an extra little tidbit. This link goes to the author's website, John Boyne, where it shows all the different translations and adaptations this novel has. There's over 45 countries that have their own translations, and what's really cool is how it shows the covers of each of the different countries' versions of the book. They have the different languages shown and the different pictures. Overall, this shows how this novel is internationally recognized and extremely popular, and that is why you should definitely read it.